Have you ever used a die that instantly makes your card look finished? Today I'm sharing a stunning card using the Ornate Frame Die from Gina K Designs, and I'll show you how just a few smart layers can completely elevate your design. Hello everyone, it's Annette with ASCardDesign. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm playing with the Gina K Designs 12 Days of Christmas box, and we're going to open this. This is day one. I'm a little bit behind in doing my video, but anyway, I am getting it going here today. This is a beautiful box. When you open your box, you will get this message. It has information on how to post your photos. And right now I'm pulling out day one, and everything's in its own little separate bag and labeled. So this is day one, and this is the Ornate Frame Die. It's gorgeous. It's very intricate, and it's just really, really beautiful. I was really happy to see this when I pulled it out of the bag. So today we're going to make a card with it. So I'm bringing in my Sizzix Big Shot die cutting machine and my platform and my magic mat there, and just laying down a piece of white cardstock, putting that die on top of it, putting it on an angle, and then running it through. I'm going to run it through and bring it back. And then I'll go ahead and remove it from the platforms. And this die cuts beautifully. You'll see all the little bits and pieces, but it cuts out this little rectangle that I'll save for another day, another project. So I'll just set that aside. And the little bits come off really easily with just a little, like an old credit card or rewards card. I'm just flexing my magic mat just to loosen them up, and I'll just scrape this into my wastebasket. And then the die, this is super fun. You just tap it down, drop it onto your surface, and it just pops out. It's super easy. It's very clean cutting and very easy to work with. All those little pieces come out. So I'm just cleaning that up and moving on. So you can see how everything just fell out. So I did die cut 2 of these, and I'm going to glue these both together. This just adds a little dimension. These die cuts are very intricate and kind of, I don't want to say flimsy, but for lack of a better word, flimsy. So putting another layer just makes them a little sturdy and adds that depth like I mentioned. So here I'm using Gina K Connect glue, just going around the outer frame, the inner frame, a little bit here and there on the little intricate pieces, and then just lining them up. It's super easy. Just line up the corner and then walk your hands all the way around all 4 sides, and it just lines up really easily. So just pressing it down, getting that glue nice and burnished, and I'll just set it aside to dry. But isn't that beautiful? This would be pretty with colored cardstock, all kinds of good cardstock. So this, now I'm bringing in Master Layouts 2. I'm going to use the stitched rectangle and the plain rectangle both. One will do the matte layer, and one will do the stitched die, or the stitched layer, which is the same exact size as the ornate panel. So I'm going to end up gluing both of those together eventually. But first we're going to bring in the Gina K Designs Art Stencil Sea, Sun, and Sky stencil. I've had this for a while. I really love it. The part I use most is that top there that I just pointed out, which makes a nice sky. And I'm bringing in some powder blue premium dye ink from Gina K. And I'm going to make a really beautiful sky background. This is so easy. I'm taking a small blending brush, loading it up with ink, and I'm just going right along the edge of that stencil. Most of my blending is on the stencil, so I'm just catching the bristles right on the edge, just ever so slightly. And you can make this line as light or dark as you want. And I know it's a little hard to see on camera, but here in a second, I'm going to pull the stencil away and hopefully you can see it. But it is kind of hard, I understand. But you can, once the camera gets in focus, you can kind of see that is the start of it. So I am going to go ahead and finish ink blending this panel. I'm going to speed up the blending here just a little bit. And then when I get to the end, I'll slow it down, and then you can see the finished design. But it's really cool. I just love this stencil. You can flip the stencil over to the other side too, which I do at the very last pass. You can see me flipping it there. I did clean it off first. I did it off camera. I edited that out, but I did wipe it off and then just ink blend it on that other side. And this is real time now, so it really doesn't take long. I just didn't think you wanted to see me ink blend. So I did speed up the other rows of clouds, but it just makes such a pretty sky scene. And here I'm just taking the leftover ink on my ink blending brush and going all the way around the panel. And this just softens the edges. This gives just a nice finished look. So there you have it. Just looks like you're flying above the clouds, right? So now I am bringing in my Sweet Petunia Misty tool, and I'm going to put that sky panel right onto my grip mat that I have inside the Misty. This is the regular size Misty, and I'm bringing in the Ornate birds. I've had this stamp set for quite a while. I'm going to use these blackbirds and maybe some of these other elements, but this is one of my favorite all-time stamp sets. And I'm bringing in the Ornate Frame Die just to kind of gauge and just kind of be a guide of where I'm going to position my stamps. So I'm going to stamp onto the cloud panel, and you'll see it'll make sense in just a moment, but I'm just using that Ornate Frame as a guide, kind of positioning my birds. And I'm probably not, I think I changed my mind about the greenery right now. I'm just going to focus on the birds, or maybe I actually do bring in that. Yeah, I bring in the branch, kind of getting them where I want and making sure everything's straight, which I bumped it and it kind of went askew. So I'm just straightening it all out. And then I'm going to pick up those birds on the door of the Misty and remove that Ornate Frame. And then I'm going to ink up the stamps, and I'm just using the Gina K Designs Black Onyx Premium Die ink. These stamps stamp beautifully, kind of like a silhouette stamp image, but those birds have some detail, and you'll see, they're stunning. I really love them. But we're going to get those images down and probably stamp them again because I want it to be nice and silhouette-y, nice and black. So stamping those, and I think we only did that twice. I only needed to do that twice. So I'm wiping off the stamps, getting the Ornate Frame back on to line up my second bird right on top of that branch. And again, removing that die cut, stamping up the bird, and then we will put him right on top of that branch. So this card is really easy to do, and you don't even need these exact supplies. You can do this with any kind of a frame die, if you have any kind of frame die, any silhouette stamps or any regular stamps, outline stamps, florals, just anything that you have. Just be creative, but that's what I have so far. And I know, it's really not realistic that there's a branch or a greenery floating up in the sky like that, but maybe he's carrying it. Maybe he's flying and carrying it to his nest. So in crafting or art, really anything goes, right? And so I'm just cleaning off my Misty and bringing in that stamp set again. I'm going to use the word thanks for my outside greening, and I did stamp on the inside of the card too, and I believe I do show you that later. But it's always a toss-up whether I want to put thank you or thankful or just thanks on the outside. But I think this is the first time I used my thanks stamp on this set. So I thought I'm just going to give this some love today. But it stamps beautifully. I love the font. And then I do have the coordinating die, and I'm going to cut that out. I think I do that off camera. And I will cut out the word thanks, and I do a second blank or shadow layer, and I will glue those together just to give those, again, some depth, some dimension. So I'll just go ahead and add some liquid glue to that. And do I show that? I don't even remember. I think I do, or maybe not. I don't know, but those were glued together. So I am bringing in my card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I am stamping on my ASCardDesigns logo, the old logo. I need to get a new stamp, but it still works. So you stamp the back, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put this card together. I am going to glue that stitch panel to the matte layer, which is just a blue piece of cardstock I had in my stash. It's like a navy blue. But you can see I'm just kind of looking at everything. I was kind of making sure it all lined up and looked good. But before we put that matte layer on, we're going to glue this ornate frame onto the panel. Very easy to line up. These are the same sizes. That ornate frame is the same size as Master Layout's 2 stitched rectangle. And then just take your time, just line up those corners and just go all the way around and make sure everything's even, and it's pretty easy. And there you have it. And then now we will go ahead and adhere the panel onto the matte layer. And again, these are easy to line up. I just kind of make sure that there's even margins on two corners and across the top. And then everything else kind of falls into place. So just take your time when you're lining up. I'm sorry I'm off camera a little bit. I didn't want to get my head into the view, so I had to pull things off to the side just so I could get a better look, a bird's eye view. How's that? But there we go. There's our panel and matte layer together. And then all we have to do is glue that all to the card base. And it puts a nice white border around, and I like that. If you look closely in the top right corner, I have a little black piece of ink or a smudge, and I end up gluing some Gina K Designs sequins or embellishments, the black, gold, and silver pearl mix. And all the supplies will be listed in the description of this video. So you can click on that more button and you can see anything that I've used there. And here is the inside greeting, which is for all you do. And this card is almost finished. And I want to thank you all for watching. If you're new to my channel, become a subscriber and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. And coming up is another video that I think you might enjoy. So do check that out. And until next time, have a great day.